that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works.
Blake Lively, America's sweetheart, Hollywood's golden girl, the actress who can do no wrong. Or at least, that's what the PR machine would have you believe. But as we all know, Hollywood is where reputations are built on fairy tales and destroyed by reality. And right now, reality is hitting Blake Lively like a freight train. Just when she thought she had enough problems with her very public legal battle against Justin Baldoni, the internet has done what it does best, dug up an old video that makes everything so much worse.
Don't do criming on tape. Criming on tape is stupid and bad, and don't do it. It's not a crime to do this, but it does make it look a little suspicious that you are using exactly these tactics against Justin Baldoni, apparently.
In this resurfaced clip, Blake Lively doesn't just talk about her passion for acting. She admits that being just an actress isn't enough for her.
I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say, but I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me.
She wanted more control. She wanted to shape the story, have a say in the writing, design the costumes, and let's be honest, probably call the shots on catering too. And why is this clip causing so much chaos? Because Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against her is literally based on this exact issue. He claims that Blake hijacked the creative process of their film, insisted on script changes, and even brought in her A-list squad, including Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, to pressure him into doing things her way.
And she was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film, even if she's the lead, and that she's now tried to turn this whole thing into a PR victory for her to get past what appears to be the fact that she is an egotistical bully.
So let's recap. Blake Lively is being sued for overstepping her role as an actress, and the internet just found video proof of her bragging about how much she loves overstepping her role as an actress. You can't make this up.
So first of all, let me point out to Blake Lively, you are an actress. Unless you signed on as a producer or a director, there's literally no reason why your creative input should matter. You're an actor. But if the idea is that you sign on as an actor and then you turn around and try to take control of the script, this makes you a jerk.
The resurfaced video is like a perfectly gift-wrapped piece of evidence for Justin Baldoni's case. In it, Blake Lively casually explains how just showing up, looking pretty, and reading lines off a script wasn't enough for her. No, she wanted authorship. She wanted to be part of every decision. The writing, the character development, the costumes. Basically, she wanted to be the unofficial director, producer, and creative mastermind, despite being hired just to act. And here's where things get hilariously ironic. This is exactly why Baldoni is suing her.
Oh my God. And then she did exactly that to Justin Baldoni, apparently. Like that's literally the accusation as to what happened.
So the iconic rooftop scene in this movie, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that, but you now.
She didn't just want more control, she demanded it. She allegedly forced rewrites, clashed with production, and strong-armed the entire process to fit her vision.
For an executive producer to have a competing cut of a film is incredibly bizarre. But when she starts threatening people and saying, I'm not going to promote the film, I'm not going to do anything unless you use my cut, that's when it starts to be awfully incendiary.
And when she didn't get her way, well, that's when the real drama started. Allegedly, Blake didn't just voice her frustrations, she weaponized her connections. Reports claim that she brought in her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and her bestie, Taylor Swift, to pressure Baldoni into making the changes she wanted.
You know, someone asked me recently why this particular case has seized the world. It was just a perfect act of evil that was almost executed in broad daylight.
So now, thanks to the internet, we have a viral video where Blake openly admits she doesn't like being just an actress, right in the middle of a lawsuit accusing her of refusing to be just an actress. Let's watch together the full video that's making waves right now.
It's just as important to say, okay, I believe in this, and that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm not being difficult. And then there are other moments to go like, am I the in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in because I felt like I don't want to just like be an actor. Like I want to have more authorship.
And of course, the internet is having an absolute field day with this. Social media is split into two camps. On one side, you have the diehard Blake Lively fans defending her as a visionary woman in Hollywood who just wanted more creative input. And on the other side, well, let's just say the words Amber Heard 2.0 are being thrown around a lot. The irony is almost too good. Hollywood has spent years painting difficult male actors as artistic geniuses, while women who push back are labeled divas. But now, Blake Lively is finding herself on the other side of that argument. Because if this exact behavior came from, let's say, Jared Leto or Christian Bale, the headlines would be screaming unprofessional, controlling, impossible to work with. But when Blake does it, suddenly it's about creative integrity. And let's not forget the chef's kiss level of hypocrisy here, because Blake herself has shaded Hollywood's difficult men in the past. She once joked about method actors being exhausting, rolling her eyes at the intensity some actors bring to their roles. Fast forward to now, and she's being accused of trying to rewrite an entire movie just because the script didn't meet her artistic vision. But sure, let's pretend this is all just a misunderstanding.
There's a reason why the public has shifted from being a little skeptical of Justin Baldoni to basically just rooting outright for Justin Baldoni at this point.
Now, enter the classic Hollywood damage control phase. Blake's PR team is undoubtedly scrambling behind the scenes, trying to spin this disaster into something that won't tank her reputation. And if Hollywood has taught us anything, it's that there's always a carefully crafted excuse waiting in the wings. Prediction time. Any moment now, we'll start seeing statements about how the video is being taken out of context. Maybe Blake will claim she was simply misunderstood, or that she was passionately advocating for a better film. And of course, there's always the trusty fallback, misogyny. Because what's a Hollywood scandal without someone blaming the patriarchy? But let's be real, this isn't about sexism or creative passion. This is about an actress who allegedly strong-armed a production, got caught, and is now facing the consequences. If a male actor had pulled this, he'd be labeled a nightmare to work with. But because it's Blake, the PR machine is already warming up its misunderstood artist narrative. At this point, we all know how this plays out. Hollywood pretends to be shocked, Twitter fights about it for a week, and in a few months, Blake will be back on the red carpet, acting like nothing happened. Maybe she'll even land a new Netflix deal where she plays a strong female lead fighting against an unfair system. Because in Hollywood, every scandal eventually turns into a marketing opportunity.
It is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
And just like clockwork, the spin machine is already revving up. Expect a series of carefully curated media appearances where Blake will talk about how deeply invested she was in the project, how she only wanted to elevate the storytelling, and how her passion was mistaken for control. Maybe she'll even drop a teary-eyed interview about how hard it is for women in Hollywood, because nothing distracts from a scandal like playing the victim. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is probably sitting back, watching all of this unfold like a bad soap opera. He came into this thinking he was making a movie. Instead, he got roped into a real-life Hollywood meltdown, starring Blake Lively as the misunderstood artist and Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as the loyal backup dancers. And let's not forget the internet, playing its usual role as the merciless judge and jury. But honestly, at this point, should we even be surprised? Hollywood is built on massive egos, creative clashes, and actors who think they know better than the actual filmmakers. The only real shocker here is that Blake got caught on tape admitting to exactly what she's being accused of. If this lawsuit drags on, it won't be long before someone pulls out the Uno reverse card. And suddenly, we're hearing leaked text messages or emails that make things even messier. Because if there's one thing Hollywood does better than making movies, it's making scandals even more ridiculous.
and we challenged actually the veracity of the text messages, and specifically said that those messages were cherry-picked and used out of context. Was there a follow-up phone call? Was there, please tell us more? What do you mean by cherry-picked and taken out of context? There was no investigative journalism done whatsoever. It was a complete reckless disregard for the truth. And why was that, Chris? You know why that was. Because Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are who they are.
And let's not forget Hollywood's favorite game, shifting the narrative. Any minute now, we'll start seeing headlines like Blake Lively silences the haters, or why Blake's lawsuit is a wake-up call for women in film. Because nothing says accountability like turning a legal dispute into a feminist movement. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is likely watching this PR tornado with a mix of frustration and amusement. He filed a lawsuit over creative control, and now he's being painted as the bad guy for expecting an actress to stick to acting. Wild concept, right? But that's Hollywood, where accountability is just a suggestion, and the best way to win a lawsuit is to turn it into a social cause. And let's be real, we all know how this ends. Either there's a mysterious out-of-court settlement where both parties suddenly realize it was all just a big misunderstanding, or we get round two, where more details leak, things get even uglier, and Twitter explodes all over again. Either way, Blake will be fine. Hollywood loves a redemption arc, and in a few months, she'll be back in the spotlight, starring in a movie about a strong-willed woman fighting against a corrupt system. Because at the end of the day, that's what Hollywood does best, turning real-life disasters into scripted performances. And let's be honest, this whole thing is peak Hollywood. An actress accused of overstepping boundaries, a director fighting to keep control of his own project, and a lawsuit that's juicier than the actual movie they were trying to make. At this point, they should just scrap the original film and turn this legal battle into a Netflix docuseries. But here's the kicker. None of this is actually about making great movies. It's about power. Blake Lively isn't the first actor to think they should have more control over a project, and she won't be the last. The only difference? She got caught admitting to it on tape before getting sued for it. Talk about manifesting your own downfall. And let's not pretend this is new behavior for Hollywood stars. For every actor who sticks to the script, there's another trying to hijack production. The difference is that most of them do it behind closed doors, not in conveniently resurfaced interviews that prove their accuser's point. It's like if Shia LaBeouf had leaked a video of himself stealing a car while being sued for Grand Theft Auto. But sure, keep the PR spin coming. Keep telling us this is about artistic vision, misogyny, or whatever buzzword Hollywood needs to make this mess disappear. Because if there's one thing Hollywood never runs out of, it's excuses.
We'll see what the documents actually say, because that's what we have are documents. Documents actually don't lie. People do. And it's important that everyone sees all of the documents that are involved in the case, because there are people that have been destroyed as a result of the allegations that have been made so far in this case.
And in true Hollywood fashion, the longer this drags on, the more ridiculous it's going to get. Next thing you know, we'll have anonymous inside sources claiming Blake was misled, gaslit, or set up, because obviously there's no way she could actually be in the wrong here. Expect think pieces about the dark side of Hollywood power dynamics and how women in film aren't given enough creative freedom. Never mind the fact that countless actresses have thrived in the cool industry without steamrolling directors and rewriting scripts on the fly. But no, this is different. This is a fight for equality, not a high-profile tantrum dressed up as creative ambition. And let's not forget the Ryan Reynolds factor. You know he's going to get dragged into this mess. Whether it's him subtly shading Baldoni on social media, or just conveniently dropping some adorable husband and wife banter in an interview, it's only a matter of time before this turns into Blake and Ryan versus the world. Hollywood loves a power couple narrative, and if anyone knows how to milk one, it's them. Meanwhile, Baldoni is over here just trying to make a movie, probably wondering how his lawsuit turned into a full-blown cultural moment. And honestly, at this point, you almost have to respect how efficiently Hollywood turns every controversy into entertainment. Who needs scripted drama when the real-life version is this good? And if history has taught us anything, it's that Hollywood never actually learns from these scandals. It just recycles them with a fresh coat of PR polish. One minute, Blake is facing career-damaging allegations, and the next, she's walking the red carpet at some high-profile event, smiling like she didn't just spend months in legal warfare. because that's how this works. Damage control, media spin, and then a triumphant comeback where everyone conveniently forgets what happened. Justin Baldoni, on the other hand, he's left dealing with the fallout, while the industry collectively shrugs and moves on to the next big scandal. Maybe he gets a few sympathy interviews, maybe some directors quietly blacklist Blake from their projects, but overall, Hollywood keeps Hollywooding. And let's be honest, at the end of the day, this lawsuit isn't going to change a thing. Actors will still overstep their roles, directors will still get steamrolled, and PR teams will still be working overtime to convince us that actually, this is all just one big misunderstanding. So let's all sit back, grab some popcorn, and wait for the next inevitable chapter in the Blake Lively vs. Justin Baldoni saga. Because if there's one thing Hollywood is really good at, it's keeping us entertained, whether they mean to or not.
This person is not an honest broker. I believe her less than ever. I actually disbelieve her fully now.
And it's important that everyone sees all of the documents that are involved in the case, because there are people that have been destroyed as a result of the allegations that have been made so far in this case.
So, what have we learned today? That Hollywood is just a never-ending cycle of egos, scandals, and carefully orchestrated PR damage control. Blake Lively wanted more power, got it, then got sued for it. Now the internet has conveniently dug up a video where she basically admits to the very thing she's being accused of. And instead of owning up to it, we're all just waiting for the next chapter in this high-budget mess disguised as a lawsuit. Will Blake's PR team manage to flip the narrative? Will Justin Baldoni drop more receipts? Will Ryan Reynolds somehow turn this into a viral marketing stunt for Deadpool 3? Anything's possible. But one thing's for sure, Hollywood will keep giving us scandals, and we'll keep watching, because at this point it's more entertaining than the movies they're actually making. But what do you think? Is Blake Lively just an ambitious actress who got caught up in a Hollywood power struggle, or is she exactly the control freak Baldoni's lawsuit claims she is? Let us know in the comments, because unlike Hollywood, we don't have a PR team spinning our opinions.